Hey everyone, Matt here. It's been over a year since I posted anything that is YouTube specific content. Sorry about that, been busy. I've got some stuff coming down the pipe that I'm really excited for. So thanks for not unsubscribing when you see this hit your feed. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Matt, I'm a stand-up comedian, I live in Los Angeles. I post a lot of stand-up shorts on here, and my actual YouTube content is a lot of video game talk, sports talk, and a crossing between the two. So if you're into that sort of thing, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you are new and tuning in, you're probably tuning in because of the subject matter of the video, G4 shutting down. Now, I was involved in the casting process for G4. I was up for being a host on the network. And so I guess I'm just kind of taking the time now to kind of share what that process looked like for me, the content that I made as a result of it, that sort of thing. Off rip though, there's two things that I want to establish before I go any further with this. Number one, I did not get cast. I made it, to my knowledge, pretty far into the process, but I had nothing to do with the actual production of G4 or any of its shows when it actually launched. Secondly, in no way, shape, or form is this well, if I had been cast on G4, the network would still be alive and I would have done all these things differently, and the people who did get cast, no, not at all. The people that ended up hosting on the G4 network, I think, are all super talented, super funny, and seemingly great, kind people. And I would absolutely love the opportunity to work with those folks if the opportunity ever presented itself. So now that the incels and the alt-righters have clicked off this video, let's actually get into what I'm here to talk about, which is my journey, I guess, through the G4 casting process. Also, I can already tell this video is going to be way too long, so if you're not interested in hearing my discussion of the process at all and just want to see the things that I submitted as part of it, just go ahead and skip to the end of the video. I'll bookmark each individual piece that I'm going to be sharing. As we all remember, G4 announced it was relaunching in the summer of 2020, and as part of that, they had a hashtag campaign, hashtag G4 Needs Talent, which was a scout for people to potentially host shows on the network. I saw that come up. I said, hey, you know what? I grew up watching G4. I loved X-Play, I loved Attack of the Show, Adam Sessler, all those folks really helped inform my sense of comedic timing and all those sorts of things. I would love the opportunity to work for this network. I would love the opportunity to work with these people. So I threw together a quick video of like, hey, I'm Matt, I'm a stand-up comic, I'm a funny guy, I think it'd be great for your network. I'm not gonna share that video as part of this video, just because you can find it on my Twitter, and most of it is just a compilation of stand-up clips that are pretty easy to access already. So I cut that basically highlight reel together, and I don't hear anything for months. I figure, well, they weren't interested or they didn't see it. I am driving down to San Diego for Thanksgiving with my girlfriend's family, and I get a DM on Twitter from the G4 channel saying, hey, we saw your video, we really liked what we saw, we're interested in bringing you in for the casting process. Are you still interested? And I said, of course, I'm still interested. I would absolutely love the opportunity to continue to keep submitting stuff, whatever you need me to do. And they said, all right, bet. We will get back to you shortly with some new information. So a few weeks go by, I get an email from the casting office saying, hey, welcome to the audition process. We would like you initially to submit an X-Play style review of a video game that came out in the past year. So again, this is around the end of 2020, so I assumed a lot of people were going to be doing reviews of like Ghost of Tsushima, Doom, Animal Crossing, so I wanted to do something different from other people and different for myself. So I decided to play and review a game that I hadn't played yet. I thought that going into it with the mentality that I'm reviewing this and I'm trying to make some sort of comedic take on this would greatly improve my submission. So with that, I did a review for Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, and I think it came out great. It's a, I think, 3.5 minute review, a lot of funny jokes, I thought, and yeah, I'm just super proud of how I was able to kind of cobble together this review and really have it be in the spirit of what X-Play is, was, etc. Secondly, they wanted us to do a 2-minute comedy sketch, and inside of that sketch, they wanted us to portray a video game character as well as do an impression of a celebrity, a tech figure, a video game developer, whatever. So I divided my sketch into 3 parts. The first part was basically me just doing stand-up on the Epic Games Apple lawsuit that was happening at the time. Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, was just saying some buck wild shit about how important this lawsuit was, basically comparing it to the civil rights movement, which is just a ridiculous thing. So I riffed on that a little bit. I did an impression of him pretending to give the I Have a Dream speech, and then I capped it off with a parody of the Sonic Says PSAs from the 90s, basically saying like, hey, note to everybody, don't compare video games to the civil rights movement. And I'll attach that at the end of the video after the Yakuza review as well. And again, another thing that I was just super proud of and thought I did a great job with, I thought all my jokes were really funny. Some of them made it into my stand-up act for a little bit. And yeah, just again, super proud of it. Super proud of my girlfriend, Grace, who helped me out with the production of it in a major, major way. Wouldn't have been able to put it together without her. And so yeah, I put those materials together, sent them off, they liked them, and I moved on to the next round of casting. The next round was entirely written. There was no actual video production, so I can't really share too much about what it was. Maybe I'll read some of the jokes that I wrote. But basically, it was another written sketch that had to be about a video game that came out in the past year, and then just a page of monologue jokes related to a couple of topics that they picked out. So for my sketch, I just wrote a parody of The Bachelor using the characters from Hades. Zagreus picks Boldy in the end out of everybody, ha 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 ha, that sort of thing. And then I actually found my monologue jokes that I wrote, so I'll just read one of them. One of the topics they asked us to do was Super Nintendo World. So Super Nintendo World's grand opening has been delayed due to a COVID spike in Japan. Even with the delay, Nintendo assured fans the park will open well before they tell us a single thing about Metroid Prime 4. I cobbled all that together, sent it in, and then they confirmed that they received it, and I never heard back from them again. So just to be super clear on the timeline, in September of 2020, I tweet out my G4 Needs Talent submission. In November, I get a message from G4 on Twitter saying, hey, we'd like for you to submit. In mid-December, I want to say, I get the actual instructions of what they want, the sketch and the review. I submit those. In mid-January, they reach back out, say, hey, we like what we saw. Can you submit this stuff? I submit those things about a week later, and then I don't hear back from them again after they confirm receipt in like the end of January of 2021. And so I don't hear back from them. There's not even a, hey, we're going in a different direction sort of thing, which, you know, happens all the time when you go out for auditions or hosting gigs, any type of thing. They're not obligated to tell you that they're moving in a different direction. Knowing what I know about casting from commercial acting and doing other hosting gigs for other things, I know that I was close. After that writing round, if I advanced, that next step probably would have been a meeting with the producers of the show, which then would have led to a decision on whether or not I was cast. So in my mind, I was a step or two away from actually getting the gig. However, I do think that there's a specific reason why they moved in a different direction. And that reason is the fact that I don't think that they anticipated how many higher profile internet personalities would be interested in being hosts on G4. Really, the only social media platform that I've made a lot of headway in is TikTok. I hover around 50,000 subscribers, which is great, but it's not this astronomical number like a lot of people have. A lot of the people who ended up being on G4, that's their Twitch subscriber count, and their Instagrams and their TikToks and those other platforms, they have way, way, way more followers than I do. And that's not to say that's the only reason why those people got the gigs. I'm not saying that at all. Like I said at the beginning, they're all super talented. And when you're a company looking to build out a network, are you going to take the funny person who has a small following or the funny person that has a lot of followers and will get eyes on your channel right away? I don't blame them for it at all. They go in the direction of having these established names be on the show, and as a casualty of that, the people who applied, I guess, via this hashtag, G4 Needs Talent, get left in the dark. And what really leads me to believe that is the fact that, to my knowledge, only one person from that campaign got hired, and that person was a behind the camera member of the network. But yeah, that was my process to submitting for G4. Ultimately didn't have anything come out of it, which is a bummer. An even bigger bummer is that the people who did get it now are out of a job suddenly without any sort of warning. Like I said, my heart breaks for them, and I hope that they land on their feet soon. I'm more than happy to cop to the fact that this is a very vain video to make, that my experience is tangentially related to the news that's happening right now, but I thought folks might be interested in the process. But with that, I think it's time to show you the fruits of my labor, as it were. And so I hope that you enjoy this Yakuza review and this quick little sketch that I put together. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Yo, I was just beating someone up for selling animal porn to teenagers. What the hell is going on?
There's nothing illegal about selling animal videos. Believe me, it's educational.
Yakuza games are best described as mafioso fever dreams that make players question the developer's sanity, as well as their own for enjoying them. The latest installment, Yakuza Like a Dragon, does much of the same while doing a soft reboot of the franchise. You play as Ichiban Kasuga, a Yakuza grunt with the same facial hair as Fred Durst. As penance for a sinful chin strap, Ichiban takes the fall for a murder, only to be betrayed by his newly goateed boss upon re-entering society. Never trust a man with a goatee, kids. After realizing the world has passed him by, Ichiban sets out to become the hero he's always wanted to be, with the help of some new friends.
Like in Dragon Quest.
Just like Dragon Quest. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? Pretend my life is a video game, even though I'm already in a video game. Virtual existential crisis aside, Ichiban definitely has some fun. The new turn-based combat system lets every character show off both devastating and hilarious special attacks. The more you level up your party, the more fun you'll have doling out highly stylized punishment to enemy Yakuza, the hungry homeless, or a giant vacuum cleaner. Is this how my dog sees the Roomba? The game's new setting, Yokohama, isn't as flashy as Kamurocho, but there is still an ungodly amount of side quests to complete. Sing karaoke, rediscover your test-taking anxiety, fraternize with a group of man-babies. Hell, shoot rockets while kart racing Playboy bunnies and wrestlers if you want, I'm not your parents. Seriously, if there was a side quest where Ichiban became the bassist for U2, it would not feel out of place in this game. Playing through these side quests is necessary to leveling up sufficiently, so don't be afraid to paint the town as red as Ichiban's awful suit. Red, dude? You look like you're going for the first impression rose in The Bachelorette. Fashion flubs aside, the main story takes 40 hours to complete, and the rest of Yokohama will keep you enthralled for dozens more. In fact, one of the few complaints to make about this game is its excess. Even for a franchise known for its long cutscenes and exposition, there's still too much time spent watching instead of playing. Even the Dynamite voice cast couldn't stop me from skipping ahead if I felt I already got the gist of a conversation.
That was the last time you spoke with
Yeah.
What happened? This?
I did it,
Really?
but I
one of their bosses.
If only I could do that on phone calls with my mom. Additionally, the complexity of the level, job, and stat progression is a bit intimidating. Players unfamiliar with JRPGs, me, may not know what to focus on. This learning curve can make grinding a bigger pain than a pincer to the face. Hope you're not allergic to shellfish. Like a Dragon successfully balances its melodrama with zany humor, and introduces new characters in combat while retaining the spirit of its predecessors. This gives newcomers a great place to dive into the franchise without ignoring the OG fanbase. Just be sure to clear your schedule before starting a cutscene. We give Yakuza Like a Dragon a 4 out of 5. Hey everyone, I'm Matt Duckett. The legal battle between Epic Games and Apple rages on. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney says that the company's decision to put its own store inside the Fortnite app is an act of civil disobedience akin to, this is real, the civil rights movement. As a black man, I actually agree. Black people in Fortnite have a lot in common. Mainly, angry white kids love to scream the N-word at us. Hope I don't have to sit in the back of the battle bus for that one. So, understood. We're actually getting breaking news right now. Epic Games has organized a Million Gamer March at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. We're going to take you there live right now, where Tim Sweeney is expected to make a speech.
I have a dream that one day this nation will live up to its creed, that all in-app purchases are created equal. I have a dream that one day Fortnite gamers won't be judged by the color of their skins, but instead by how much they pay me for those skins. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free to play at last.
We're going to take you to our in-studio expert, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic? Hey kids, Sonic the Hedgehog here to remind you that comparing video games to the civil rights movement is never cool. If you're banned from online tournaments for being a Wi-Fi player, don't compare that to segregation, because centuries of systemic racism can't be solved with a longer Ethernet cable. And if you're a billionaire tech CEO, don't say that your desire to make money is an act of civil disobedience. And if you make that statement when your company ranks in the bottom percentiles of inclusion and diversity, that's no good. So remember everyone, keep MLK's name out your damn mouth when you're talking about video games. Motherfucker.